Hello, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I'm Samuel Reese, once again coming to you live for another edition of the U.S. versus Mexico rivalry. What a great rivalry it is, and what a significant game here tonight as it's the World Cup qualifiers here in CONCACAF for next year in Qatar, as the World Cup in Qatar will start about exactly a year from now, in fact. So a whole lot at stake as McKennie drives one in. It comes right back out. We pick things up in the 37th minute. I apologize for not being able to commentate this game from the start as I was covering my high school's state tournament football game, but I'm glad I made it back home in time for the last 60 minutes of this game or so, as a throw-in is taken on the far side by the United States. Mexico wearing black and U.S. in white and blue. Tyler Adams had it for a moment. Now back in the possession of Mexico. Luis Romo going wide. A great crowd on hand in Cincinnati, Ohio at TQL Stadium, home of FC Cincinnati. Now down the left wing, here comes Anthony Robinson of Fulham. Robinson still going. Dangerous cross towards the penalty spot. Laid off by Pepe, and the shot glances wide. It fell nicely for Yunus Musa, the Valencia midfielder. And Musa just couldn't quite put it on target. From what I've heard, it's been a number of chances squandered by Mexico so far tonight. And maybe the U.S. a bit fortunate that it's still a 0-0 scoreline. As you can see on the ticker, these two teams, unsurprisingly, the top two in the octagonal standings for CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. Mexico coming into the night first place on 14 points. The U.S. in second with 11 points. All the other six teams in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying in action tonight. So the four games taking place tonight. Of course, UEFA World Cup qualifying going on as well. Spain taking on Sweden Sunday at 2:45 Eastern Time. That should be a good one. This goes out for a Mexico throw, and it will be Rodriguez to take it, the Tigres man. Mexico led by Tata Martino. In charge of the U.S. is Greg Berhalter. Walker Zimmerman will send it back to Zach Steffen, who did get the start tonight, not Matt Turner. Of course, good goalkeeping battle going on. Well, I wouldn't phrase it as a battle, but a good contest, I should say, between Steffen and Turner to see who gets that starting job going forward. As Zimmerman is under a bit of pressure, finds Steffen, who clears to midfield. This will be settled by Brennan Aronson, who's doing a great job producing assists and goals for RB Salzburg in Austria. Oh, great slide tackle from Tyler Adams. Could be a bit of trouble for Mexico. Referee, let's play continue, and that's picked up in the middle by Tyler Adams. Adams fakes the shot, cuts to his left. Adams still going. Aronson trying to send in Ricardo Pepi. Couldn't quite connect, but the U.S. not done. Now it's out wide with DeAndre Yedlin, who got the start at right back, the Galatasaray player, and it's dangerously crossed to the back post. The header sent wide by number 5, Anthony Robinson. It was Yunus Musa with the good-looking service. Anthony Robinson just lurking around that back post, able to leap up for the header, put it wide. All right, Yoshi Bros, glad to have you in the stream. 41st minute of play at TQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. That'll be a foul against Walker Zimmerman. Zimmerman, in fact, just one of 2 MLS players in the starting lineup for one of three MLS players, I should say, in the starting lineup for the U.S., Miles Robinson and Ricardo Pepi, the other two. How about that Honduras-Panama game? It's the 87th minute as we speak, and currently it is a wild 5-goal thriller. And that game has actually gone back and forth. Currently, as they approach second half stoppage time, it's Panama leading 3-2. They've just scored 2 goals in a 5-minute span. So how about that? Panama in comeback fashion trying to hold on for what would be a huge victory over Honduras. We'll keep you posted with that and all of the other games going on across the region in CONCACAF World Cup Qualifying. Meanwhile, free kick coming up for Mexico. This game started at 9:10 local time, a late start in Cincinnati on this Friday night. And Musa has no problem clearing out the cross. Will I be streaming my first Bruins game of the season? You mean when will I? I'm not sure quite yet, Yoshi Bros. Definitely soon. I've been unbelievably busy with school, college applications, and then covering my school sports teams, which has been a lot of fun, but a lot of time commitment. But 3 of my school's teams are in the state semifinals, which is incredible. Field hockey, volleyball, and football. Football just won earlier tonight. That's what I was covering. That's why I wasn't able to be on the call for this game from the start, as Edson Alvarez commits the foul. But yeah, the fall season will be wrapping up in the next few weeks, and then there'll be a little gap between the end of the fall season and the start of the winter season, where I'll have more time to do streams, and I'll most likely be doing a Bruins game in the next 3 weeks or so. At least that's what I'm hoping for, as this is passed back to Zach Steffen. Yeah, and especially, once December rolls around, I'll have most of my college applications submitted, so I won't have to worry about that anymore either. So yeah, I should and I'll be done refereeing on the weekends after today, or sorry, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day of the season for the fall season when it comes to refereeing, as this is sent into the box and down went Aronson. Not enough for the foul. And Raul Jimenez with a bit of a heavy touch took him out of play. Throw in for the United States. About a minute left until stoppage time. Yeah, the Bruins are worrying me. No doubt about that. Here's Tyler Adams for the U.S. Adams across the back for Zimmerman. Stoppage time on the horizon here in the first half. In with the challenge was Edson Alvarez. U.S. turn it over. Ball intended for Jesus Corona. It was cut out. And now Adams out wide for Yunus Musa. United States settling in a bit more as this first half has progressed. McKennie back to Miles Robinson. The United States have already beat Mexico twice this year in both the Nations League final and the Gold Cup final. 2 different sets of players, but nonetheless, 2 wins against Mexico in the same year. Can they make it 3? That would be remarkable. That was a strong pass out wide from Steffen. Forces the U.S. into a turnover. Cross towards the penalty spot. A high kick there as Herrera went for the acrobatic effort. Play continues. McKennie tripped up, and that should be a card, and it will be. A yellow card shown with 30 seconds left in the half. And booked for Mexico was Luis Romo. Yeah, tactical foul there from Romo. He knew exactly what he was doing. Really no intent to play the ball, just really to slow down the U.S. attack. And a worthy yellow card in the end. Halftime any moment now, and there is the double whistle. So 45 minutes in the books from TQL Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. A long-lasting rivalry that never gets old, but no goals to show for on either side through the opening half of play. We'll see if the second half has something else to say. It's a crucial World Cup qualifier from Cincinnati. Here are the halftime thoughts of Greg Berhalter.
Both teams have put a lot of energy into it, up and down. The guys are committed. We're looking to get the goal. We came close a number of times. We want to keep pushing. What's going to be your message to them for the second half? I think keep going. We can be a little more patient and build up. I think we're passing out of areas where we have numbers too quickly, and then we got to break lines and switch fields. It's really important. Thanks very much, John.
All right, there are the thoughts of Greg Berhalter at halftime. As mentioned, it's the U.S. 0, Mexico 0. No goals through the opening 45 minutes of play. I'll be back with the halftime report in a moment. It's the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers from Cincinnati. It's U.S. Mexico. I'm back with the halftime report in a moment. And welcome in King Lucky. Thanks for tuning in. Let's go USA. And welcome in Hugo as well. Great to see you. Yeah, I did just start the live about 12 minutes ago. As I was telling people earlier in the stream when I started it, I was covering my high school state tournament football game, which I just got back from. So that's why I couldn't start the broadcast from the start of the game, unfortunately. So I missed about the first half hour, but hey, I'm glad I'm able to cover the rest of it. So great to have you in here, Hugo, and everybody else. I'll be right back. The halftime report is on the other side. Welcome into the halftime report, everybody, on a rainy Friday night in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's scoreless between the United States and Mexico through 45 minutes. And yeah, Hugo, as I said, I missed the first half hour. I heard that Mexico squandered some opportunities. But yeah, the last 15 minutes of the half that I was able to see, Mexico did look a bit shaky at times. And yeah, that U.S. pressure Certainly paying off at times. The U.S. had some decent looks. I'd like to see them put a few more shots on target to test Ochoa a bit more, as we've got Gabriel in the house. We got Travis here. We got Jeffrey here. Yes, go USA. Absolutely. USA Mexico never disappoints. We are scoreless through 45, but I feel like there are fireworks on the way in the second half. And yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Travis. I appreciate it, man. I'll definitely say hi on Sunday. I'll make sure I stop in and say hello, no doubt about it. Yeah, for all of you tuning in, make sure you check out Travis Berg. He does some great streams, including Red Zone pretty much every Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Would definitely recommend you guys tuning into the channel. I know he does Thursday Night Football as well, among other broadcasts. He even streams his daughter's softball games sometimes, which is some nice entertainment and a nice way to mix up the content. So definitely check out Travis if you haven't already. For those of you tuning in, look at some statistics. The shots on goal 2-2 so far. The U.S. had 3 corner kicks, Mexico 2. It wasn't a first half with a lot of chances, that's for certain. But yeah, as Hugo mentioned, I think the U.S. looked more optimistic towards the end of that first half. By the sounds of it, Mexico came out as the stronger team, but once the U.S. settled in, they started they were the ones who started to apply the pressure on Mexico, make them a little uncomfortable at times, which is what I like to see. The U.S. have a great midfield trio of Musa, Adams, and McKennie, and some decent crosses sent in from the flanks. That's a key, though. Those services. You have Yedlin on the right, Anthony Robinson on the left, and you know, to be fair, Mexico have forced the U.S. into some turnovers in the midfield. At times, it's been a bit more sloppy than I'd like to see from the United States. So they'll have to clean up on some turnovers in the midfield. And as expected, a bit of a chippy game with fouls coming in. Of course, we saw that yellow card late in the half assessed to Luis Romo. And yeah, no problem. Of course, Travis. You deserve it, man. And yes, I saw that, Gabriel. Honduras blew a 2-0 lead and fell to Panama 3-2. That was a remarkable comeback from Panama. Meanwhile, here in Cincinnati, it's scoreless at the break. I'll look ahead to the second half of this crucial CONCACAF World Cup qualifier right after this quick break. And welcome back into the halftime report, everybody. 0-0 between the United States and Mexico at the state-of-the-art brand new TQL Stadium. A look at the scoreboard around CONCACAF in World Cup qualifiers in San Pedro Sula, Honduras, as Gabriel mentioned, choked a 2-0 lead Panama with the come-from-behind victory 3-2. Canada, Costa Rica, second half just underway from Edmonton. It's 0-0 in the 46th minute. And then in the other game, it's 0-0 between El Salvador and Jamaica in the 48th minute. That game in San Salvador. So we'll keep you posted with the score lines elsewhere in CONCACAF World Cup qualifying. After the break, though, it's out to Cincinnati for the second half. And remember, Christian Pulisic, an option off the bench. It's not a matter of will we see him, it's when will we see him come into the game. Of course, Pulisic recovering from an injury, that's why he didn't start. But could he be a super sub? We will find out. The second half is next from Cincinnati. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get the second half started in Cincinnati, shall we? As expected, a phenomenal crowd on hand tonight. The rain continues to fall down, but that's not dampening the atmosphere one bit. US-Mexico, always worth the watch. As the teams switch ends, the U.S. wearing white shirts, blue shorts tonight, and Mexico in their black and pink colors. As we will see who scores the breakthrough goal, if that breakthrough goal arrives. It was Mexico early on with a couple of good chances. Zach Steffen up to the task. Big talking point was Steffen starting instead of Matt Turner. But to Steffen's credit, he's made some nice stops. Hasn't really needed to make any great saves, but has done his job thus far. as the U.S. are on the field ready to go, and Mexico will follow shortly. The U.S. have scored 8 of their 9 goals in this World Cup qualifying campaign in the second half. So the U.S. very much a second half team. We'll see if that's the case tonight here against Mexico. Great to have all of your company tonight, as always. And there's always something extra special about a U.S. Mexico game. No doubt about that. And having the game in Cincinnati at a soccer specific stadium, definitely a good move, as we see. Definitely a pro U.S. crowd. And it doesn't seem like there's many Mexican fans on hand. Of course, that was not the case in both the Nations League and Gold Cup finals, where those took place in huge stadiums where the Mexican fans were able to pretty much outnumber the U.S. fans in both Denver and Vegas. We're off and running in the second half of play. Let's see what the second 45-minute period has in store, I should say, is Turner, Arriola, Pulisic, Roldan, Richards, Busio, Leggett, McKenzie, Ferreira, Vines, Cannon, and Acosta are all of the U.S. substitutes available off the bench. Neither team has yet to make a change. And now this is tracked down by Ricardo Pepi. Pepi plays it back to Tim Weah. Weah now lays it out wide. Here comes the cross from DeAndre Yedlin. Trying to head it away is Rodriguez. Edge of the box. U.S. hold on to possession. Adams sprays it out wide. It's Yedlin again, feeding it into Weah. Weah floats one towards the back post. That one slipped right by Anthony Robinson. And now Jesus Corona will backheel this one to a teammate. Pass intended for Jimenez upfield, but the U.S. win that battle. Wide it comes to DeAndre Yedlin. Yedlin holds. Nice touch by McKennie. McKennie to the byline, crossing to the back post. It falls nicely and the volley's blocked. Now it's Tim Weah. Weah plays it to Yedlin. Adams going to clip one in, looking for McKennie, but that pass is cut out. Well, definitely an optimistic start to the second half for the United States. Great bit of skill from McKennie as he floated across into the back post, and it was a real good chance for Miles Robinson. Sorry, no, it was Anthony Robinson, and he blasted one off of Dominguez, one of the center backs who got in the way of the shot, or else that could have been a real goal-scoring opportunity. (10:16) local time in Cincinnati. A late night matchup between these two rivals on this Friday evening in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice pass to McKennie, but McKennie's closed down and eventually concedes possession. Gallardo with a blast forward. Settled by Anthony Robinson. Early second half as we await the first goal in this one. Wide it comes for Yedlin. Yedlin, a great ball forward. It's Tim Weah cutting it back. It's McKennie with a drive and making the stop is Memo Ochoa. Real good link-up play by the United States. And Guillermo Ochoa able to parry away this rocket. Really didn't have much control of where he was sending this one to, but fortunately for him, it was parried over the crossbar. An absolute cannon. And now a corner kick for the USA. Just 4 minutes played in the second half, but the U.S. all over Mexico to begin the second half. Brendan Aronson to deliver the outswinging cross. Decent ball in. Jimenez heads it out of the box. Now going wide is Yedlin. And Aronson will win the throw-in. Last touch by Rodriguez. In fact, that went over the end line. So another corner kick make it. Aronson will try again. Another outswinging ball. This one all the way to the edge of the box. And Yunus Musa not too far away from the target. As he took this one off the bounce. And Musa's actually had a couple of decent looks. Just hasn't been able to test Ochoa quite yet. And look at that. Some U.S. substitutes warming up. Headlined, of course, by Christian Pulisic. Pulisic getting loose. And we can expect him to make an appearance rather soon. And that's a blatant foul in the midfield. Is that not a yellow card? I mean, Tyler Adams got plowed over by Raul Jimenez. Leipzig, the club that Adams plays for. Wolves, the home of Jimenez. And yeah, that's a yellow card. I'm sorry. Jimenez went barreling in to the backside of Adams. Interesting. Oh, are you talking about the Canada game, Gabriel? I assume you are. Man, this will require a temporary pause in the action as Tyler Adams is a bit slow to get up. In fact, he's still down as the athletic trainers attend to him. Zimmerman push Jimenez? Really? I didn't quite catch that. I'd like to see the replay again. Well, I mean, the foul is called against Jimenez, so I don't know how much of a push it really was from Zimmerman because the referee saw it as a foul against Raul. And so Adams will slowly walk his way over to the sideline. Doesn't seem like anything too serious as he clutches his back. 53rd minute of play now. And play restarts as that ball makes its way to the arms of Zach Steffen. U.S. try to work it quickly through the midfield. Holding up is Tim Weah. Now to Yedlin. McKennie. McKennie driving forward for the United States. He'll slip it through. Aronson on the chase, but that's going to roll towards the end line, and some great pressure there. Great effort by Anthony Robinson to keep it alive for the U.S. Sent over to Yedlin. Edge of the box, and the pass off the mark from Ricardo Pepi, but it's one back. Adams steps in for the intervention. Wide it comes to Yedlin, and now back for Adams. Adams dribbles into the middle. McKennie for Weah. Tim Weah taking a crack at goal. Deflection, and it fell at the penalty spot for Pepe, who sent it over the crossbar. The U.S. racking up their chances, but still not finding the net. Yeah, Pepe got it all wrong right there. Oh, Canada took the lead. All right, Gabriel. Yep, so Canada leading Costa Rica. Canada came into the night 1 point back of the U.S. for second place. And if this result were to hold, U.S.-Mexico were to tie, then Canada would go 1 point clear of the U.S. at the end of the night. But still a lot to be sorted out until that possibility comes true. Mexico play it out. It will be a U.S. throw-in. The United States with a majority of the possession to start the second half and a lot of time spent in the attacking third. As the Edlin will leave it for Weston McKennie to take. Great to have all of you in here tonight. And yeah, there's the update. Canada, indeed, as Gabriel mentioned, have taken a 1-0 lead over Costa Rica. That game in the 58th minute. Just a few minutes ahead of this game. Long throw by McKennie, laid back for Anthony Robinson. His effort is blocked, and now Mexico looking to counter. What channel am I viewing the game? ESPN2, Hugo. Yeah, I'm watching it on ESPN2. I know it's also on ESPN Plus and Univision. The rain coming down in Cincinnati. This is the first of 2 games in this international window of games for World Cup qualifying. Of course, the first 2 international windows saw all of the teams play 3 matches. This is a 2-match window, so it'll be Jamaica up next for the U.S., but first looking to take care of business tonight against their rivals, and this could lead to something as Ricardo Pepi was chasing down that ball, but getting to it first was Vasquez. This is moved ahead for Mexico. Jimenez back for Romo. Here comes the cross, and Zimmerman heads it away. If I watched on Univision, they have the SAP in English. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to worry about what language the game is in because I have the volume turned down pretty low, since I'm calling the game, so I don't really have to worry about that. How did I watch the MLS game? Which MLS game are you talking about, Gabriel? Mexico control as spinning around is Edson Alvarez. Alvarez chips one forward. Zimmerman settles for the U.S. and plays it back to Stefan. Bouncing ball, and it will roll out for a Mexico throw-in. About an hour in still scoreless. Of course, even though no one wants to hear it, a draw would not be a bad result for either team here in World Cup qualifying. But of course, in a rivalry like this, both teams certainly going for the win. This is played ahead by McKennie, crossed in by Weah, and it was mishit by Aronson, who had a decent look. Looked like it took a partial deflection off of a Mexican defender. The U.S. continuing to get their chances. Ochoa to Dominguez. Now Gallardo. Gallardo back to, this time, Vasquez. What's good, Jeffrey? Welcome into the stream. We got Jeffrey in the stream as Mexico start to work it forward, and Rodriguez goes down hard. That's going to require a yellow card. A booking here to the United States, and that will be a yellow for Miles Robinson. Yeah, that's a yellow card. An elbow to the face right there. An elbow to the chin, in fact. Miles Robinson came in late, no doubt about it. A yellow card. Certainly deserved right there, as, yeah, it was an elbow to the chin indeed. Yeah, I didn't see much of that game, Jeffrey, but I did see that the Celtics won in overtime against the Bucks, so that's a good win for them, no doubt about it. Lakers play at 7:30 your time, Jeffrey. So yeah, 10:30 my time as Mexico get the ball into the box. Rodriguez cross dealt with easily by Stefan, and look at this pace from Musa. Musa still going. Down he goes. And all ball, says the referee. Mexico back in possession. Jimenez out wide for Chucky Lozano. Lozano, who didn't take part in that Gold Cup final back in August in Vegas against the U.S. because he suffered a horrific injury in the first game of that Gold Cup against Trinidad and Tobago. The scary moment when he collided with the keeper in a very awkward way. Cleat to the face, and could have been much worse than it turned out to be. He recovered faster than I think the doctors were anticipating. And now back 100%, playing for Napoli, of course, in Serie A. Half an hour left, an hour in the books, 0-0 in Cincinnati. U.S. Mexico here in World Cup qualifying. We're almost exactly a year away from the start of the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Remember, it'll take place in November and December. As Vasquez sends it back to Ochoa. Yeah, Jeffrey, Celtics will be back in action tomorrow night, so we'll see if they can notch another win. I believe they're playing Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Not the exact price, Hugo, but I did hear that the ticket prices were outrageous for this game. Yeah, couple $100 anyways, I believe. I'm not exactly sure the exact price, but yeah, I heard they were ridiculously expensive. They were saying it was Super Bowl ticket money. Wow, I did not know that. Jeez, that's insane. This is now settled by Lozano. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, as it's won by Yunus Musa. Musa going down, and a foul called against Vasquez. Will I be doing the Monday Night Football game? Oh, yeah, between the Rams and 49ers. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that game, Jeffrey. I can't say I can promise it. It depends. I don't think any of my school's teams will be playing on Monday. So I don't think I really have anything going on that day. It just depends how much homework I have. But, yeah, I am hopefully planning on doing that game. So fingers crossed I'll be able to do it, as it's a direct ball forward, falls back for Yedlin. Yedlin to Adams. And now Weah passing it to the end line. Cross delivered by Yedlin, but getting ahead to it was Vasquez. Great intervention from Anthony Robinson. And once more, the United States back in possession. It's Weston McKennie. Into the middle with Tim Weah. Weah, who plays for Lille in France. And this pass from McKennie took enough of a deflection that it skipped over to Memo Ochoa, who will pick it up as Pepe approaches him. Yeah, European qualifiers also going on. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't think I'll be able to do a stream tomorrow just because I have 3 early action deadlines for college applications due Monday, and I wanna watch the NFL on Sunday, and I'll be refereeing tomorrow as well. So I'm trying to finish up my applications to those 3 colleges tomorrow. So I don't think I'll be able to find time to stream anything tomorrow, even though I would like to. But Sunday I'll definitely be on for Patriots Browns, which should be a good one. And now some pushing and shoving here. Adams and Herrera going at it. The referee having to come in, and now Musa and Lozano are exchanging some words, and this is what the rivalry is all about. The referee having to take control of the situation before anything gets out of hand. 65th minute of play. And looks like things are settled down, but maybe only for a minute or two, as I'm sure the tensions will flare up again. Yeah, Adams wasn't happy that Herrera threw the ball back, as it was a U.S. throw-in awarded, and that's where the chaos really ensued. Yep, Pulisic getting instructions, Hugo, so it looks like he'll be entering any moment now, Christian Pulisic, which the crowd is definitely anxiously waiting for. I'm sure there'll be a roar at TQL Stadium once Pulisic is subbed on. It's won by Herrera. Hector Herrera. Pass forward to Lozano, and Zimmerman gets there first. Great win by Walker Zimmerman, although Mexico still in possession. It's possessed in the midfield by Edson Alvarez. Alvarez surveying his options and now looking for the switch. It's a poor pass, though. Controlled by Anthony Robinson. What's good, Ryan? We got Ryan on the stream. Great to have you, man. Hope you're doing well, Ryan. As Anthony Robinson lays it off to Brennan Aronson. Aronson to McKennie. Weston McKennie trying to switch the point of attack, but Jimenez read it out. McKennie wins it back, though. It's Tyler Adams out on the left wing. 67th minute, about 3/4 of the match played. 0-0 in Cincinnati. One of the best rivalries in the world, U.S.-Mexico, taking center stage tonight. And yes, Ryan, you're absolutely right. Our schools are only one game away from the big showdown, as Aronson was taken down, and the U.S. not happy about that. They're getting all in Rodriguez's face. McKennie is furious, and he has to be careful here, as the tempers are certainly starting to really flare up. Yeah, Chaka doing too much. Yeah, Chaka Rodriguez taking out Aronson. And they're going to have to calm things down. But yeah, Ryan, I'm really looking forward to that possibility. Yeah, actually, that's why I wasn't able to start this stream until about 30 minutes in. Because I was on the call for my school's game against Methuen. Yeah, we are pretty loaded this year. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't say we're a lock to win it, though, Ryan. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, we're having a heck of a season. I mean, best season in a long, long time, at least since the '80s. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. Yeah, card for everyone, it looks like. Yeah, Rodriguez was just. I mean, he grabbed the face of Aronson. That's ridiculous. He grabbed his face. I mean, come on. Aronson got poked in the eye. You guys have been struggling a bit late in the season, really, Ryan? Well, I mean, hey, St. John's Prep is still St. John's Prep, so at the end of the day. But yeah, that would be crazy if we met at Gillette in the Super Bowl. We have to be Springfield Central though. That's gonna be a heck of a game. And here comes Pulisic, the long-awaited entry of Christian Pulisic here in the 69th minute. By the way, McKennie was one of the players shown yellow. That means he'll miss the next match due to yellow card accumulation. Yeah, no VAR somehow. I don't know, Hugo. I can't explain it. I mean, yeah, that's got to be a red card. I mean, Rodriguez grabbed the face of Aronson. You can't do that. That's ridiculous. And so Aronson has come out. Yeah, I did see that. I did see that result a few weeks ago against CM. I forget the final score, but yeah, it was a complete blowout. Yeah. Zach Steffen somehow was also shown a yellow card. As Hugo said, everyone got yellow cards there. But yeah, Ryan, we got train wrecked by CM 2 years ago in the playoffs. It was the state semifinals. So, but yeah, Franklin is just a different. We're even better than that team from 2 years ago. There's something special about this team. I feel like so. I mean, I'm hopeful that we can win it all, but we'll see, man. Still got to get by Springfield Central first, and then we'll see after that. Here come Mexico down the left wing. It's Lozano. Lozano looking across. It's blocked by Yedlin. Back it comes to Lozano. 70th minute of play. Hector Herrera going wide. Lozano 1v1 with Yedlin. Now it's passed to Corona. Corona crossing and getting ahead to it is Zimmerman, but it will be a corner kick. Yeah, Jeffrey, I do plan on doing the Pats game on Sunday. So unless anything pops up, I should be doing the Pats game. Yeah, it was a bummer that I couldn't do their game on Sunday. I wanted to do every Pats game this season, but I was actually at the Revolution game at Gillette Stadium on Sunday as the Patriots were playing at Carolina. So that's why I couldn't do the Patriots game. I went to the Revs game with a couple of friends. So it was a lot of fun. They raised the supporter shield. So, but yeah, that's why I wasn't able to do the Patriots Panthers game. Yeah, I agree with that about Tecatito. You'll definitely be at the game if you beat Central Catholic next week. All right. You write articles on the football team. That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. A reminder that the MLS Cup playoffs get underway next weekend. Sunday, November 21st will be a doubleheader. NYCFC take on Atlanta at 3 Eastern time, and then it's Portland, Minnesota at 5:30. Here's a cross towards Tecatito. Corona shielding it away from Anthony Robinson, and now tripped up. And they're going to give a free kick to Mexico. But yeah, Ryan, I'm definitely hoping that we meet in the Super Bowl, and that would be great if I finally got to meet you in person, man. That would be fantastic at Gillette in the Super Bowl. I'm hopeful, man. But yeah, I would be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous because Springfield Central, they beat Zavarian 40-15. So they're no joke. I know they played IMG Academy earlier in the year. They got smoked, but the fact that they got IMG on the schedule is impressive. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy. In your dreams, Gabriel, as Musa heads it away for the U.S., sent back in by Alvarez, and Jimenez called offside. The flag went up. U.S. with a free kick, just over a quarter of an hour remaining. Free kick taken by Zach Steffen. Header by Yedlin. Now it's Musa. Musa going wide. It's Tim Weah. Weah, 1v1 on his right foot, looking to cross, and the header's in! It's Christian Pulisic, and it's the U.S. striking first against El Tri. 74th minute goal, and the United States are on top. Cincinnati erupts in jubilation. And who else but Christian Pulisic? 5 minutes after coming on, his header has put the U.S. in front with a quarter of an hour remaining. 1-0 USA. And what a cross from Tim Weah. Weah, a couple step over moves, able to curl one in to the runner in Christian Pulisic. Could Gallardo have done more to block that cross? Probably. But still a good-looking delivery, and Pulisic just wanted it more. Able to get his head to that ball, and from close range was not going to make any mistake. 1-0 USA. What a moment. Christian Pulisic immediately pointing to his ears as the crowd absolutely erupted at TQL Stadium. It's all red, white, and blue ringing throughout Cincinnati right now, as Alvarado has just come in, replacing Tecatito Corona, and all of a sudden, Mexico needing to really up the tempo as Rodriguez has come in for Luis Romo. So a couple of changes by Tata Martino, and it's Mexico trailing. Wow. What's going on, Vaughn? You came in just at the right time. Love to see it as the United States take the lead on a goal from Christian Pulisic. No, early on in the second half, Hugo, the U.S. had 3 or 4 shots. As this is turned over in a dangerous area by Mexico. But the pass from Pulisic was not quite what he wanted it to be, as it fell to Ochoa. No, first like 10, 15 minutes of the second half, Hugo, the U.S. were in Mexico's half quite a bit. But yeah, in the last 15 minutes or so, Mexico definitely had more of the possession compared to the start of the half. But no, the U.S. had some chances earlier on in the second half. That's for certain. And that's a poor touch by, I believe, Chaco Rodriguez. Out it goes for U.S. throw. And going back to that goal, Tim Weah the cross, Christian Pulisic the goal. Put that on the highlight reel. What's good, Carlos? We got Carlos in the house. Yes, go USA. We got a great number of U.S. fans in the house. Love to see it. And, yeah, I mean, hey, if the U.S. are able to hold on, I think it's very safe to say the USA owns Mexico. That would be 3 wins in a single year against Mexico for the U.S. I don't think that's been done since, I want to say, 1992. Here is Herrera. Herrera going down. The referee says play on. Tim Weah, heavy touch, and he commits a foul. It'll be a free kick going Mexico's way. Yeah, Jeffrey, I heard that. No Chubb as he tested positive for COVID, yeah. 78 minutes in the books, and this is going to be a real entertaining ending. I can say that with certainty. This ball clipped into the box. U.S. trying to clear. It's not out quite yet. Getting a piece of it was Vasquez, and now Herrera with a volley from outside the box, but a slow roller finding the hands of Zach Steffen. Steffen will roll it out for Zimmerman. All right, Carlos, thanks for the update. So El Salvador just tied with Jamaica. What's good, Nate? Welcome in. As Musa tries to cross it, but Mexico take over. I'm doing fantastic right now, Nate. If the U.S. can hold on, then I'll be absolutely ecstatic. And yeah, there you go, Hugo. The shots this half, 9-0 in favor of the U.S. So it's been a one-sided half for the most part. Ten minutes plus stoppage time remaining. This is Chucky Lozano. Cut out by the U.S. McKennie finding Anthony Robinson. Tapped out a play by Chaka Rodriguez. It'll stay with the United States. Yeah, Nate, I know. Honduras blew that 2-0 lead against Panama. Crazy stuff, yeah. Do I think that the USA will win the World Cup one day? Yeah, I mean, one day, I think they will. I don't know how far away that is, but I would like to imagine someday in the future the U.S. will win the World Cup. Cross whipped in by Gallardo. And now fighting through is Mexico. This might come to Jimenez, although coming to the rescue for the U.S., I believe, was Miles Robinson. And it looks like a foul called against Mexico. What do I think about JD Martinez coming back to the Red Sox? I guess I'm okay with it. I would have been fine with us moving on from Martinez just to open up some cap space, but I'm not super pleased about it. I'm not mad about it. So yeah, I'm fine with it. As the U.S. will make another change, Yunus Musa's night has come to a close. He definitely had some nice sparks tonight. Ricardo Pepi also making way. It'll be Jesus Ferreira and Kellen Acosta coming into the match for the United States. Some fresh legs on the pitch as we enter the 82nd minute of play. This is controlled in the midfield by Alvarez. Alvarez maintaining his balance. Free kick awarded to Mexico. Quickly taken. Yeah, exactly, Vaughn. That I need to look at the updated standings, but that loss to Panama today was a killer for Honduras. And now look at this. Tyler Adams was met by Irving Lozano. Lozano exchanging some words with Adams. And now it'll be Rogelio Funes Mori. Funes Mori coming into the match, replacing Alvarez. So Alvarez is done. Funes Mori into the match. He only made his debut for Mexico over the summer. Funes Mori actually was born and grew up in Texas, but has Mexican citizenship through his parents, who are both from Mexico. That's punched away affirmatively by Zach Steffen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Tata's doing. 7 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. This is sent ahead for Jimenez. Jimenez defended by Miles Robinson. Here's the cross to the near post. Steffen is there. Bit of a scare for the U.S., but it's cut out nicely. Yes, Tata Martinez is from Argentina. I did know that. Will Scotland make it to the playoff round? I mean, yeah, I think they have a shot. I do. I say they do. Here's Kellen Acosta. Nice turn by Weah. Weah has space. Keeps it in play. Weah delivers the cross. McKennie settles down. McKennie back to his feet. Still in possession. And eventually turned over by Acosta. Or rather, that was Jesus Ferreira. I beg your pardon. One back by the United States. Here's Christian Pulisic. Pulisic, Ferreira trying to get it back to Pulisic. But it's turned over. Picking off the pass was Vasquez. Oh, Funes Mori. Sorry, you're talking about. Okay, he played for Argentina in friendlies. That's right. Yes. I almost forgot about that. Oh, look at this. It's all the way through to McKennie. McKennie's in. McKennie scores! Weston McKennie, 2-0 USA. And surely that's the dagger. Tucks it into the far corner. The lead is doubled. It's the United States night as they own Mexico here in 2021. 2-0. And the fans certainly getting their money's worth tonight in Cincinnati. Tata Martino claiming there was a handball. Let's see the replay. Took a wicked deflection, but it worked out quite nicely for McKennie, trying to pass it back to the middle, but it fell right back in his path. Breakaway chance and a composed finish as he tucked it into the far corner. The United States come alive here in the second half, and Mexico in deep trouble now. El Tri running out of time, trailing by a couple goals. Edge of the box. Here comes the shot over the crossbar. Goal kick. Stefan will take his pleasant time. Wow. Yeah, definitely, Hugo. I mean, the U.S. have simply been the better team tonight. Maybe, they started off a bit slowly. And Mexico came out of the gates, as the team creating more chances. But once the U.S. settled in and, applied that pressure and made it a bit uncomfortable for Mexico, they really never looked back. Wow. What a second half performance this has been. Can the U.S. tally a third goal? It's Christian Pulisic. Pulisic linking up with Tim Weah. Back to Pulisic now. Knocked away by Herrera, and they're going to call a foul. Free kick for the United States with stoppage time about 2.5 minutes away. And Pulisic is down in quite a bit of pain now for the U.S. Remember, he's just recovering from an injury. Yeah, that's that's a card right there, really, from Herrera. It should be. Went right through Pulisic. And that's what Pulisic's asking. He's saying, how's that not a card? How about the faithful U.S. fans who attended this match in Cincinnati? They're having a grand old time. Doesn't matter that it's raining. Do I think Norway will make the World Cup? Yeah. I think Norway make it. I do. Yeah, definitely, Hugo. Yep. This young new generation is a very promising one, and we're seeing why here in 2021, really, as DeAndre Yedlin has it near the corner. His pass given away. Mexico looking to clear. Down the left wing, chasing onto it is Lozano. Lozano, what a nice turn. He blows by Miles Robinson, and Robinson commits the foul. Remember, he's already on a yellow card. And there it is, a second yellow. So Robinson has been sent off for the United States. Thank you, Malika, for tuning in. And so with a minute left until stoppage time, it's a second yellow, red card for Miles Robinson as he's sent off. And yeah, look at that. Lozano had his shirt ripped. I don't know if I think it was on that play. And yeah, I can't really argue with that. It was a clumsy challenge. Robinson knew he was already on a yellow card. Just can't commit a foul like that when you're already on a yellow. So the U.S. will play down a man the rest of the way. But yeah, it is looking like it's too late for a comeback indeed, Hugo. 90th minute. Here's the free kick. Service by Herrera, sent back by the U.S. Mexico back with it. Herrera looking to get the cross in, but sliding to the rescue for the U.S. with Tim Weah. Quick throw and taken. Mexico needing to play with some urgency. That ball slips away from Herrera. He was able to keep it in play, but the cross goes right to Stefan as we are into second half stoppage time. Yeah, there'll be 4 additional minutes here in the second half. That goes out for a U.S. throw-in. One last change from Greg Berhalter. Coming out will be Tim Weah. I thought he had a solid night, Tim Weah. Great to see him healthy with Lille and with the national team. And he'll be replaced Weah by Chris Richards. So Richards is on as the throw-in will be taken by DeAndre Yedlin with about 3 minutes left. Free kick awarded to Mexico right around midfield. Hector Herrera will take it. Here comes Lozano. Playing it ahead to Jimenez. Deflected pass. McKennie gets there first. Pulisic tripped up. Advantage played by the referee. Oh, what a move. Streaking down the left wing, it's Anthony Robinson. He's still going. Robinson all the way to the box. Finds Ferreira. Ferreira puts it wide. Nearly a third goal. What could have been right there for the U.S. as Anthony Robinson had an incredible run down the left wing to set up this chance. And yeah, Ferreira should have at least put this one on target. You could tell he was really frustrated with himself. Now just about 90 seconds to play in Cincinnati. That's turned over. Jimenez now for Mexico. Spinning around. Has it on his right foot. Jimenez has it stolen by McKennie. Yeah, it's a very interesting question, Hugo. I would have to think so. I mean, the U.S. will now beat Mexico for the 3rd time this year. I don't see how Mexico could still be above the U.S. in the rankings. I think both teams are a bit too high in the rankings, to be honest. But no matter how high both teams are, the U.S. should definitely be ahead of Mexico. A minute to go now. Mexico will work it out of the back. Dominguez. All right, thanks for the update, Gabriel. So Canada won 1-0. So this win will put the U.S. and Mexico tied atop with 14 points each. And then Canada will be moving to 13 points. One back of both the U.S. and Mexico. Here's Chucky Lozano. Lozano on his right foot, going for goal. A curling effort. But Stefan makes the stop, and it looks like he's going to preserve the shutout tonight. The final whistle coming any moment now. As Stefan punts it away, and this game is all over. The United States defeat Mexico for the third time this year. First, the Nations League final in Denver, then the Gold Cup final in Las Vegas, and now probably the biggest one of all, a World Cup qualifier in Cincinnati. The United States reigned victorious yet again over their bitter rivals. What a second half showing. Goals from Christian Pulisic and Weston McKennie lead the United States to a 3 points over Mexico. It's all smiles for the U.S. as they grind out the victory. It was never going to be easy, but the USA get the job done. Love to see it. Next up for the U.S., Jamaica, but this undoubtedly the biggest win thus far here in World Cup qualifying for the U.S. Greg Berhalter, well aware of that, and boy, how the mood has changed here in World Cup qualifying. Of course, it wasn't the best of starts as the U.S. tied El Salvador, then drew Canada at home. A lot of question marks are being raised. Remember, they were trailing Honduras at the half at the San Pedro Sula in the third game of World Cup qualifying. That's when they turned it around. The second half of that game, they completely flipped the script, beat Honduras, haven't really looked back since. And now the U.S. are tied on points with Mexico atop the group. And look at that. The United States, first place in the group, they and Mexico on 14 points. Canada with a win go to 13 points. Panama in fourth with 11 points. Costa Rica, Jamaica, and Honduras all on 6 points as we're starting to see the table really takes shape. And El Salvador with 6 points. Honduras at the bottom with 3 points. Remember, the top three automatically go to the World Cup, and the fourth place team will play in an intercontinental playoff. Yes, let's go on. USA. Awesome night. That was fantastic. The USA-Jamaica game, Jeffrey, will be Tuesday. I'm not quite sure yet if I'll be able to be on the call for that game. It's a weird start time. It's like a 5 o'clock game. Early start time, that game in Jamaica. What a night in Cincinnati. Wow, I can't imagine how great that is to experience for the fans in attendance. Would love to be there at TQL Stadium, but it was great spending it with you guys. Wow. The U.S. beat Mexico again. They've done it again, folks. And in convincing fashion as well, it has to be said. The U.S., the better team on the night. So much build up to this game as there is for every matchup between the U.S. and Mexico. And thank you so much, Gabriel. I appreciate it. As much as I'd love to celebrate all night long, which I will do, I'll have to end the stream here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The United States beat Mexico 2-0 and take down their rivals for the third time here in 2021. Safe to say the United States own Mexico, at least for now, in CONCACAF. A big World Cup qualifying win for the U.S. The celebrations are just getting started in Cincinnati. Hope you guys enjoyed Pulisic and McKennie, the second half goal scorers, as they take down El Tri.